Thank you. Okay. All right.
Oh, I didn't get to choose record to my computer. I don't know what it's recording to.
You can record on Zoom if you want as well.
Okay, I just clicked record and it just went, so I have no idea where it's going.
I think
I
it
think,
should. I think it should be fine.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay. You,
Okay, if
yeah.
I
Should
get
be
an
same
email,
last time.
I'll upload the link.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So how you guys doing today? You guys all doing good? Cool. Yeah. So we are Profiteer back again with our Sprint One, and as we kind of said last time, Profiteer is a kind of a gamified budgeting app, creating user incentives such as progress, like a progress bar and like badges and stuff to kind of incentivize, people in the college range area to want to save and to want to set themselves up for future financial success. So with that being said, I'm Jacob Hoppenstedt, the project manager and one of the front end developers.
I'm Trevor Gross. I'm the Scrum Master, and I'm in charge of the database.
I'm Nathaniel Babian. I am one of the developers. I've been working on linking front end and back end.
And I'm Drew Reisner, another front-end developer. So here's a quick project update. The backend team has continued working on establishing a database with MongoDB and has also made progress in implementing the Plaid API through the use of a sandbox environment. The front-end team has established a locally hosted website consisting of a landing page, about us page, registration page, and login page, which will be demonstrated in another slide. Currently, we are working to establish a connection between the front and back ends. For example, like to save a user's information when they're signing up for the website, like their username, password, and email, to get that stored properly. So having that functionality will allow us to finish the login process and begin working on the main dashboard.
Yeah, so right now, I'll go over some of our accomplishments. The main ones we've been able to do have been our front end user interface, making a homepage, sign in page, sign up, about us, and then which is mainly our front end. And then for the back end, our Plaid integration, where we're able to link bank data either in the development stage or like the sandbox environments, being able to get those to work. So some of the other things we're currently working on are our user database and like getting user data in. Those still do more work. And yeah, overall, it's these things have been coming together, and over the next few weeks, we should have them linked together pretty well.
Here's our Jira timeline and the Kanban board. So far, we have already completed a lot of the like basic and like upfront front end stuff that needs to be completed for the website to be like you can look at it and use it as needed. We also have completed the integration with Plaid. We're able to communicate with Plaid, pull data from there, and store that in the database. That is all operational. Database functions for the most part are completed. We are working on still validating the user account creation. There's already a dummy account in there which we can access, but we're not able, but we're so far still working on being able to implement going from text box to document. And then what's going to be going in progress next is we're looking at budget functions and spending limit, all that type of thing. And then we have all of the rest of our functionality still listed in the backlog.
All right.
So here's the sprint backlog 2 estimation. First, we have the budgeting function, which will end up on the dashboard to show a user recommended budgeting practices based on their financial information that was retrieved from Plaid. This means that we have to finalize the account registration process and its connection to the backend to implement this feature. Next is the categorical spending and payment tracking, which will also appear on the dashboard to help users save up for like a large purchase, and help them work with the budgeting, or it will work with the budgeting function to make this goal realistic for them. So the budgeting UI, the budgeting dashboard UI will incorporate the functionality I just mentioned in an intuitive way unique to each user. For the spending limit, we will allow users to manually set purchase limits per category and suggest limits based on their personal financial information that was retrieved from Plaid. There will also be incentives such as badges and progression to encourage users to follow the spending limits that they set. And finally, for the notifications, it will work with the spending limit functionality, and the user will be notified upon entering the website or via email in the future if they're coming close to their specific or recommended spending limits.
By way of testing what we've done so far, we've completed MongoDB testing, Cloud API testing, and Postman. In MongoDB testing specifically, we have tested, you can go to the next slide. In MongoDB testing specifically, we have a dummy account that is in there, and we are able to pull information from that dummy account, including transaction information. We're able to add new information to that account. We are all the code operations work fine, all through Node.js. What we are working on next is being able to add information into that account and into new accounts all the way, stemming all the way from the front end instead of just from the back end. From Plaid API, we're able to, both in sandbox and in development data, we're able to pull information from there and be able to store that into the database through localhost and through the webhooks. And then lastly, with Postman, we're able to go from start to finish all through Postman, getting information from Plaid and taking it all the way and outputting it into the terminal.
All right. So yeah, for our next segment here, I got a little front end demonstration that we would like to show you guys. So let me see if I can back out of this for a second here. Can you guys see my like full screen, or is it like stuck on the PowerPoint?
We only see the
No, we
PowerPoint.
don't see the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. So if I open this up, can you guys not see this?
I can
Oh.
see that.
We're good.
Yeah, we see
Okay.
that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. So this is our front end so far, and kind of starting off on the home screen here, we have our introduction, Profiteer, a new financial frontier. Got a little logo guy right here, kind of going for that that like colonial profiteer guy, like he's going up the mountain and he's setting a new financial frontier, right? And we have register now here. As we scroll down, have a few text boxes to kind of let users know what they're going to be in for with this website. So first, meet your financial goals. Users are able to sign up on the dashboard and kind of like put in their own financial goals. This tells them about the gamified budgeting aspects, where it just makes it more enjoyable and incentivizes users to keep going. And then obviously the connect with your friends, which is the feature that probably going to be more near the end, but we want to have some social aspect to it where people can check with each other and see like with their friends, like badges and progress and whatnot. And so yeah, so back on our, I guess we'll go so the sign up and login, as we were kind of saying, was is still, we're trying to get it where the text boxes link up to the database when they submit it and everything, and obviously doing all the checks to make sure that email is valid in whatever way that we're gonna like set that up, and just checking that there isn't already an email that has the account and just things like that. Login, similar thing, checking the database and getting that to work. But the screens and everything are all here, as well as the about us page, where we have kind of just a little thing about ourselves with some pictures and just a little blurb about ourselves. But yeah, all of the different the stuff at the top of the nav bar is functional, and this is the front end so far. So yeah, that is. Let's go back to the PowerPoint here. Right.
Okay, so here are some of the issues that we currently have, starting with visualizing the user data. This is an issue because we plan on utilizing the d3.js library, which neither Jacob or I, the front-end developers, have had experience with in the past. So there's going to be a learning curve there if we want to be able to display the data properly how we want to on the dashboard. Another issue is conflicts between libraries. There may be some compatibility issues with the various libraries that we'll end up using that are worth considering. So end-to-end communication issues. As we said earlier, we began the process of establishing end-to-end communication with the registration page, but we were having issues actually getting the entered information into our database. So we'll have to look more closely into this problem to figure it out in order to continue developing the dashboard in the next sprint. So for UI formatting issues, there are currently some minor issues with how some elements are displayed on the front end UI. So we'll have to figure out how to solve those as well. However, these problems aren't significant enough to prevent us from continuing development in the front end. And finally, time management. We don't know everyone's schedules with classes and homework and exams and things like that. So some people may not be able to complete their tasks on time. And it's important that we have consistent communication with each other to make sure that we have good time management practices overall.
Yeah, and for our next steps, there's a few things we're gonna try to do. First part is register users and store them in a database. And like Jacob said earlier, doing checks to make sure when you're registering that email doesn't exist and having proper checks in place. Building a database with the user data and creating user authentication, kind of the same thing, but yeah, just making sure our database is working properly. And then Trevor and I creating budget functions. This will pull data from the backend and from Plaid, and we'll be able to give this to the user to make recommendations. Design the dashboard and data displays. More on the front end, pulling the data and being able to display that correctly. And then, yeah, just continuing to code all this together.
Yeah. So this is what we have accomplished so far with sprint 1. And yeah, so any suggestions from you guys? Any thoughts?
For me, just great job. I think you guys are at a pretty adequate point at this like point at the end of sprint 1. Like this is kind of what I would expect a group to be at, like kind of at the point where you've done a lot of the front end, you got the back end, and now you just kind of got to put everything together. So yeah, great job. I like the front end too. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I think you guys did a good job as well. And like you guys are on good pace with like I think next sprint. I like the stuff you have planned as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Pretty much the main thing left is, yeah, like you guys were saying, just linking the front end, the back end, and also just pretty much just displaying the back end information in like the way of like the dashboard and showing like the actual content that the user is going to interact with. So that's pretty much the next big step. And I feel like we'll definitely be able to get that done by the next sprint. But yeah, thank you guys for, letting us share what we've been working with so far. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Okay, great job, guys. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Have a good one.